All right, Masters 2026.
What day is it? How do we open the show every week?
This is, well, you say it's like 2 days after. So we're going to say, hey, this is Saturday, April 18th. And, we're here. This is a Masters special episode. Masters was last weekend. It's actually Thursday the 16th, but we're going to say it's the 18th. And we're here to break down all of the hot takes from Augusta National.
All right. Get to Yes the Pod. Thank you guys for joining. Bonus episode. It is it's Friday, April 17th. Probably going to be released on the 18th, if we're being honest, because this is a bonus episode and nobody prepared for it. But Austin texted me and he said, I have a lot of hot takes that I need to get off for the Masters. And so I don't have my normal setup. I don't have my mic. Hopefully my audio is going to show up on this feed. But we're here. We're here for the takes. We're here for the boys. So Austin is going to run this episode today.
Let's do it, dude.
There's no opening rant, but
let's do it.
It was a good
This whole thing is
tournament.
going to be
I think we all had fun.
Yeah.
And what's going on this week? Charleston?
There's a little Heritage. Also, Live implosion potentially. Keep waiting for the secretary to drop.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit too. All right, dude.
Live.
Floor is yours.
Okay, so the leader, the header for this is Rory 1. All right. All of our bets were against Rory. So from a financial standpoint, this was the worst possible outcome.
I made a lot of money last week.
I'm shocked that you made money, man, because I thought we were on the same. I thought we were kind of like in sync betting, and I'm getting absolutely cleaned out over here, and you're like, I'm just raking it over here. So maybe we should spend some time talking about these bets that you can actually make money on versus what we had agreed on, and then I thought I was betting with you, and then I lost all the money, right?
I cashed most of the bets that we talked about on 2 weeks ago episode, our Masters preview episode, in which so the majority of that was some of the matchup stuff that we talked about, fading the first timer guys. I took Brooks to make the cut. I did Brooks to be top 20.
Yep.
I had a few other top 20s.
Yeah.
Yep. Good. And then my big winner was, we didn't talk about this on the show. This is my fault.
We didn't talk about it on the text either, Ryan. You got to pass this along.
I did put this on the text thread, and you said I hate that bet. And this was Hovland to beat JT in a 1v1 matchup for 72 holes, and that was my biggest bet of the week. And it looked terrible going into Sunday because JT was, I think, -1 going into today, and Hovland was +3.
Wow!
And Hovland turned it on, man. I mean, he shot. I think he shot 65 on Sunday, which was pretty epic for me. So,
and you cashed your 12 under total tournament. You cashed your 12 under. Right? 12 under for the total?
Yeah. That was a fun little bet that was not available when we were doing our preview for the Masters, but it was 12.5 under, basically, was the line for the winning score. And so I took over, essentially,
Can't believe you hit that.
-12 or less. And, but I didn't think I was going to hit it because
Rory was 11 under on Friday. Rory was 11 under on Friday.
He was. They didn't dial up the course the way that I thought they were going to. And that was my whole handicap going into that bet for the week. So I bet this on Wednesday before tournament kickoff.
You succeeded.
They kept talking.
You failed successfully. On that bet, I would say.
Failing up, baby. Fail up. But let's talk about course setup there for a second, because I think that was the biggest miss from my view. I know that this has been overblown. Everybody's talking about it. But I think it was the dumbest thing that Augusta National could have done. Even John Rahm on his interview on Wednesday talking about the conditions of the golf course was saying, we're not going to have rain. Augusta can do whatever they want here. I would love to see them speed up the greens, make them rock hard.
Which is hilarious from Rahm, considering he, shot like 8 over or whatever he did. He's like, make it hard. Make it hard.
Make it hard.
Yeah.
And so I felt, okay, that's probably what they're going to do, because the last few years in the Masters, we've had rain.
Yeah.
We've had a bunch of rain. We've had a bunch of wind. I mean, there was that giant windy day 2 years ago when Scotty won.
Yep.
Total anarchy. But they knew that going in. They had rain the day before, rain the day after, rain on the weekend. So those greens are going to soften up. It was perfect weather. They could do whatever they wanted to do, and they didn't do it. It still ended up being hard enough, I guess, because winning score was -12. What is it usually? It's usually closer to 15, I want to say.
14. I mean, Tigers I think he was like 14 going into 18 with a 2-shot lead, and 19 ended up at 13. It's kind of in that like 10 to 15 range. And if you have a blowout year, like you get 18 under, that's like, Tiger's year, DJ's year, I think he may have even been at 20, which is in that weird off year. And then I think Spieth was at 18 under too. So it's pretty unusual to get, I think, less than 14 for a champ for the most part. But that's kind of like 12, 13.
This is the one thing that I hate about the Masters compared to all other of the majors is it's obviously the same course every year. And so that gives the guys an advantage in theory because you get to know the course really well. But you go to the Open and we've had years where they've won at +2 and the winning score at the Open.
US Open. The US Open.
No, sorry, the British Open, the Open, presented by Her Royal Majesty. And that's one where it's typically single digits, certainly, that they're going to win. And then US Open, same thing too, right? You're going to play Woodmont or you're going to play Bethpage, and they're going to make those courses super hard because they're naturally really hard, and you're going to hit it into the shit, and you're not going to be able to find your ball. Augusta doesn't really set up that way.
They don't have any. There's no rough there, dude. There's no rough.
There's no danger.
Right?
And the pine straw is very tame. I mean, hitting out a pine straw is not hard at all, unless you're blocked out, whatever.
We're going to lose a ball there, and you're never in the rough. But it's the greens obviously will kill you. If you're out of position, you're dead. There's just some places you absolutely can't miss at Augusta National. Yeah, on every hole.
So that was the course.
Yeah,
that was the course. 3-1. What do you think? None of our bets hit. Well, I mean, my bets hit.
None of my bets
bet against Rory going into Saturday.
Yes, our whole thesis after Rory goes off to this insane. I think he was up by 6 shots on Friday, torching the course. Yep. I mean, the back. We should talk about Rory's back 9 on Friday. I'm pretty pissed Rory won, but that was incredible golf. That was the best golf we've seen from anybody in a while. His back 9.
Since Tiger. It was insane. Electric.
There are times when Rory is in the pocket. He's in his zone and he is unconscious. I mean, he was driving the ball all over the yard and still out of position. His wedge game was unbelievable. Lag putt was unbelievable. Making putts. For him being the worst driving accuracy guy in the field, basically, he was the worst driving accuracy guy that made the cut. He was walking on water. He was, what did I call him? Irish Jesus Christ on Friday afternoon. I had 2 competing thoughts after that round on Friday. I was like, this is a reincarnation. This is the transfiguration of Rory at Augusta National. He's about to shoot 25 under and just enter this new era of dominance. We didn't bet that. I had a bigger hunch that, this was an insane 9 holes that Rory had, but it's still Augusta. He's not closing tournaments the way that he was 10 years ago. So I'm like, he's going to fuck it up and he's going to let some guys back in and it's going to be shaky. It's going to be the back 9 that we had last year where he's giving it away. The reason that losing all the bets hurts is because I think we were right on the take. We were right on the take. I should have just bet Rory over on Saturday. That would have been a better bet. We kind of knew that he was going to let the guys back in the field. So the gameplay was perfect for us. He's going to have some loose gears. He's not going to be firing. He's going to be having that drink after the round on Friday and just thinking this thing is done. It's like in football, man. You got that big lead at halftime and you're just trying to run the ball out. It's the most natural thing in the world. And Rory let everyone back in the field. It's the Ravens, man.
Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, Rory let everyone back in on Saturday. And, oh, by the way, Scotty, who was even par after the first 2 rounds, comes firing on Saturday. And we're like, I was so elated after Saturday. Sunday's going to be fantastic. Cam Young was right there. These challenger guys are hungry. Rory's shaky. He's probably going to fuck it up on Sunday, honestly. And he did. He did fuck it up. He had that terrible 3-putt on the front 9. So him and Cam Young were tied after Saturday at 11 under. Dude, I mean, most of my money that I lost a lot of money on. Well, my bet stack was Rory loses, which I got I think I bet before they teed off on Saturday. So I had great odds. I think it was like 3 or 4x payout if Rory lost. That was the initial thesis. And then we were stacking on top of it with Cam Young, who we got kind of before his big charge and he tied it up. So I got good odds on Cam Young. And then I started just sprinkling Scotty when he was plus 1,000. You see him coming. So if Rory had lost, it's great for me. If Cam Young or Scotty pulls it off, unbelievable. Maybe the biggest one weekend sports payout of my life if that happens. So, I mean, let's talk about Rory's round on Sunday. He's coming back. I think it was the par 3 that he just, hooked it left. It may have been 4 or 4's, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5. He hooks it left.
4 was the one that was 250 yards that day.
He hooks it left to the green.
All the way back. I think that was...
Hit it over.
That's where he hooked it, but yeah.
He 3-putted from 8 feet. You could see there was a window that Rory is letting it slip away. And then you've got Cam Young gets the birdie, right? It kind of felt like Cam Young was going to go Players Championship mode and just be unflappable, let Rory make mistakes, and he's just going to shoot, 2 under par and put this thing away, which, by the way, he could have, right? He could have. So I was as surprised with Cam Young struggling or just being a little shaky, which it's the Masters. He hasn't won a major, but he has been there recently with the Players Championship. I thought he wouldn't really, whatever. It's like big tournament, right? And he was so impressive down the stretch at the Players. And he also, had to just kind of gut it out after the fan favorite leader had totally fucked it up. You just get the sense that Cam Young's been there. This is my time. I'm going to step into this. As a Wake Forest guy, was so excited to see Cam Young. They're shouting out Arnold Palmer, go Deeks. You just feel like it's his time and Rory's going to blow it. So for Cam Young, I did feel like the story on that middle of the round in the back nine was as much the guys that had a chance not being able to close as it was whatever Rory did. You had, and let's go down one by one on those, right? You had Cam Young, you had Rosie, who probably his best chance ever to win the green jacket was his chance in the middle part of that round.
I mean, last year was very close, but yes.
Very close. This one felt like he was playing good when everyone else was. Rory was really struggling. He was a few shots ahead. You're just like, okay, he's been there. He's going to get it done. Nance was like, thank God, I was going to be so depressed that I can't call the Rory. And now I get to make this other feel-good story. They were on Rory. Now they're on Rose. And I'm like, I'm okay with Rose pulling this off. That would be really cool. And then Rose, like, he could, he struggling on those chip shots, duffing chips, couldn't make putts. He did
was out of position a bunch of times on the back nine. I mean, he did not. It's almost like he got the yips in the
he
back
got the
nine
yips,
of that
man.
round.
He totally blew it. He blew it.
Because he's not a player that typically does that.
You're also seeing Rory, you're like waiting for him to start compounding mistakes. Where Rose lost it at Amen Corner, that's where Rory established control of the round. His shot at 12 was unbelievable. His shot at 12 was unbelievable for how shaky he was. His eagle, it was at 13, right? He got the eagle at 13. He still almost blew it on 18 with the push slice that was so bad it was good. You know what I mean? You see, how many shots have you seen where guys go right on 18 and they've had a clean shot back to the hole? I've never seen it, dude. I've seen Spieth and whoever that are completely camouflaged by a tree and they got no shot and they have to punch it out sideways. I've never seen someone be that far right on it. I took the live bet to compound my mistakes. He's going to get a double. Yep. And then I look at his lie and I'm like, he's clear of all the trees over there. He could literally lay it up straight on the 10 fairway if he wanted to and hit it over and probably still make bogey. He was so far right, he was able to hook it around all the trees and have a clean up and down for bunker.
Was he? I don't know, because CBS didn't show the shot.
Terrible, dude. No, didn't show the shot, didn't show where it landed, didn't show the putt. Like,
there's been a lot of talk about that this week. The one thing that I don't know if you've seen, we can put the tinfoil hats on for Conspiracy Corner here.
Yeah, I'm here for this, dude. Yeah.
This is what I saw a couple days ago. Apparently, a couple of the cameramen for CBS allegedly sold their tickets. So I'm sure that if you're working on the CBS crew, whatever, you get some family, friends tickets so that
Little
they can
splash
come as a
around.
perk.
Yeah, sure.
What the rumor is that there were 5 staff of CBS, cameramen, etc., that sold tickets, and Augusta got wind of it, and they were
kicked them
not
out?
allowed into the grounds. So
The cameramen were not
CBS
allowed into the
isn't
grounds?
talking about this, but that's the rumor as far as there weren't the right guys on
That's insane.
the course for the shots that they needed, whatever.
Dude,
that doesn't make a ton of sense to me, because you've got 150 cameras out there at least, I would think.
More than that, dude. They're literally they have film of every player of every shot at the Masters that gets recorded to the app. So they've got cameras everywhere on that course.
Some guy threw that tweet out. What are people not talking about? And it was that CBS doesn't want to talk about this because they want to keep the coverage, because that's a year-to-year contract for them to keep that coverage. They renegotiate it every single year. And allegedly that's what happened. So we don't know. Rory could have been fluffing up his ball in the pine straw and had a clean look to the green, turn the ball over.
Yeah, there's no patrons over there. There's no patrons over there. There's no patrons on the other side of the forest.
You're on 10.
On 18.
You're
on the 10. He's basically on the right side of the 10 fairway over there.
Yeah,
which is way hillier. If you haven't been to Augusta National, people know how hilly that is. Which we have to just always emphasize how much more contours there are if you've been to the golf course. Dude,
the funny thing about that is it is so true, and CBS does such a bad job. ESPN does such a bad job of showing how crazy the course is.
They had the one graphic they added this year that was like on 10. They showed the 80-foot drop a few times, and they need to put a building or something there, because it's insane how big that drop is. Or like
point.
The reference
going on.
It's if you're on that hill, your side lie is like this. I mean, you're literally at like a 45-degree angle trying to hit up on that green, which is crazy. I want to talk about Lee kind of absolutely screwing over Scotty on 13, which was also terrible coverage, where Scotty's making his charge. He has HaoTungLi. He's out there playing like you and me. Like if they had kind of that thing that's like, let's get a regular Joe, one of the last few groups for compare and contrast. It was like looking at me, looking at Lee, me, where he's in. Scotty's just walking on the fairway. Or is he iced out? Is someone on the green? You're like, no, Lee's 80 yards deep into the forest right now, trying to hit his shot out and then he hits the shot out. You don't know where it goes. Coverage is all over the place. Then he's on the green, and you just hear Nance go, Lee putted one back into the creek. So Lee's like what? Like this guy, right when the moment Scotty, he's trying to find this rhythm to come back on these key holes, Lee is absolutely knocking it all over the yard. Scotty has to wait 25 minutes for Lee to get 8 hacks out of the woods, whatever he did. And then he's got to wait on the green for Lee to go take his drop shot from the green where he rolled it back in the creek. That hole killed me. I didn't watch Lee's hole in the app. I was like, I don't know if I have enough battery power to watch Lee.
I think the real question for you, is as follows. Did you find HaoTungLi on Venmo and request him for whatever money you lost on Scotty?
Dude, I will find him on Venmo. I want to go back. I should go look at his 18th, that hole, and just see how the cameraman was able to get him.
So it's Rory like, dude, lost. Rory would have lost. That Rory would have not made it to the playoff. I don't think.
No, dude. There is such a different pressure being up one shot or having to make a par on 18 than it is having 2 shots to win. I mean, think about when Scotty won his first one, he 4-putted 18. Remember that? And he had that cushion. Yeah. Like there is like, dude, it was 13 for Scotty and it was 17 when he had the putt coming down the hill that you're looking at it and you're like, this has to break at least half a cup. And it's right on, it's got to break to the right and it's hanging on the left edge the entire time. It's got perfect speed. It doesn't go a centimeter to his right and it stays up and stops. Because if that putt drops or Lee doesn't take 2 hours to play 13, I think Scotty gets to at least 12. And if he made those 2, he's at 13. And I definitely think Rory loses.
Looking back at HaoTungLi's card, he made a 10.
Yeah.
He made a 10.
He shot a 10. While Scotty is trying to it wasn't just a 10. It's like, if you're bad, play bad, play fast. He was playing bad. Rules officials there, taking his sweet ass time. They don't know where the ball is. He's in the freaking woods. That's literally what you and I would look like out there. That was like when you and when we played the honors course, and I had, on 17, the whole bet's coming down to 17. I'm hitting 17 shots in the woods, and the caddy keeps trying to like hand me the club. He's like, I think this will help you. It was like watching Lee trying to hit all those shots out of the woods. And I'm like,
I'm rewatching it right now as we're recording this. The shot that just got shown was him putting it into the creek from the back of the green all the way through it.
That was probably for a 7 back then.
He takes a redrop, so he takes his relief from where he previously hit. He doesn't go to where it went in, and he hits it so slow it almost stops at the top of the ridge on that green. And he's still 50 feet from the pin. He's putting this for the second time. Same shot.
Dude, bad. Dude, his 12, 13, 14, for those following along at home, was he shot a triple bogey at 12, 5 over on 13. These are the critical holes that Scotty's trying to come back. And Lee literally shot 8 over par in 2 holes, 9 over par on 3 holes. Ryan, I truly believe you and I could have.
He birdied 14, so he was.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I saw a circle on the card and assumed it had to be a bogey after what he'd done over there. He birdied 14. Dude, I'm looking at him right now. His third shot when he's in the woods, so dude, good. He hacks it out. Scotty was able to walk from the fairway, did 2 full walk up and downs to the green and back. The next shot, it says video for the shot is unavailable because he's so far in the shit. So, dude, Rory is a worthy champion. He is in.
Dude. No, he's not. Let's talk about Rory. Let's talk about Rory for a second. Here's my take on Rory generally. I said this going in.
He's about to chip this in the water. It's gonna be great. Keep going.
Felt that Rory was not going to show up this week. I was wrong. He showed up for one day, and that was Friday. I mean, he played well on Thursday for sure.
He showed up for 9 holes, basically.
He had the benefit of some great weather and soft greens on Thursday. I don't count it. Friday, that back 9 for 9 holes was a masterclass on golf. I've never seen somebody play golf like that since Tiger in his prime.
It was unbelievable.
Rory, on Saturday and Sunday, man, he gets tight. He was just trying to smother it away. I don't even know if smothering it is the right term. He was trying to lose that tournament, is what it felt like to me.
I mean, he did, and then he found his way back, man.
Dude, Rory is not that guy. He does not have that dog in him. He is not the guy that has the killer instinct in any way. And I think that was on full display at the Masters this year. People are talking about how Rory's never going to lose the Masters again. I don't think he's ever going to win the Masters again. I don't think he's going to win a major again after this. I am so out on Rory after this tournament because I thought he played terribly on Saturday and Sunday.
He played,
and the pressure, you could see it with him. It was...
Dude, here's the thing.
What would Tiger have done with that? Tiger has a 6-shot lead going into the weekend. You're never going to see him again.
No.
He would have won by at least 4 or 5 shots.
Dude, Tiger would have won by
12.
Tiger would have won by 15 shots, dude.
So putting Rory into this class of golfers with Tiger, Jack, as much as I hate Jack kind of did the same thing in life. With Phil was always a fanatic, crazy golfer. You never knew what to expect, but he did have the killer instinct. I don't think that Rory has any killer instinct at all. I think he's a good guy. I've said this multiple times. I generally think that Rory has been a good ambassador for the PGA. I think he's been good for golf, especially through the LIV drama because he added to the LIV drama. I think that it's a good thing that we've had Rory because Scotty, as much as I like Scotty and have grown to like Scotty over the years, he's not the most interesting guy in the world.
I mean, you watch Rory at a Ryder Cup, as much as we hate it, he's feisty, man. He's feisty.
Totally.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the killer instinct. Scotty does have the killer instinct for sure.
Scotty does.
And it's just, I don't know, man. I think it was a fun tournament to watch from a television product. I think it was a total throwaway of a Masters generally. I thought it was maybe the stupidest Masters that we've seen to date.
I didn't love it, dude.
other than Dustin Johnson winning when it was COVID year. I just have no positive thoughts about Rory going into
I
the
feel
rest of the
like
year for the major season.
here's what I'll give him. Here's where I'll give Rory some credit. When he double bogeyed 3 putt in a hook off, and then he bogeys 6, right? How many times have we seen guys with big leads at the Masters just absolutely blow it, and not only blow it, but then lose by 8 shots, right? Rory's done it himself. So I saw that, and in my head, and he was 9 at that point. He was 2 or 3 shots back. You can see it where he's going to blow this and he's going to shoot 77 today. And it's going to be like a Greg Norman, Nick Faldo kind of thing where he's going to lose by 10 shots. You know what I mean? So I give him credit shooting the most average round he could ever shoot at Augusta and getting all the coronation as like best European golfer ever, best in the Pantheon. 6 majors is objectively impressive, but it felt like he didn't. After Friday, he shot 1 under par over the weekend. He just like hung around. So that's where I just felt like it just felt really flat at the end of the weekend, where I'm just like, everyone's going to be happy with the story and everyone loves Rory in the media. But I'm just like, he was unbelievable for 9 holes of the 72-hole tournament. And then he definitely left the door wide open.
Yep.
So,
dude, I feel that. All right, so overall, more than I think most years, we had a lot of takes on the Masters from the mainstream media. This was probably the most coverage I've seen and the most people talking about the Masters, and a lot of people angry about things, a lot of hot takes. There's a lot of takes that have been going around that just got boring throughout this week because they were the same. I have a couple. Any of you that stuck out, it's just like just stop talking about this.
I feel like the Masters is trying to do a little bit too much just as a brand. I'll throw that out there. I think I agree with that. I think it's kind of the Trey Wingo take that we were sharing. I actually do think that's true. You don't have to do anything else. It's a perfect brand. It stands alone. It's timeless. All you can do is mess it up, I think, by like changing things. So
it's Coca-Cola, it's Ferrari, it's Harley Davidson.
You're in the Hall of Fame. You've got
of the best brands.
Yeah, it's the best brand. And so kind of some of the like chachification of the Masters, whether that's merch or coverage or this stuff that they're trying to bring waste management into some of those vibes. It's like, leave it to the waste management
out there on the
it's just some of the ESPN guys and some of the bits. You don't need, it's just a timeless, the tradition is so appealing and so curated and enduring that it's not something that you have to they're so excellent at the things that they focus on that you don't need you don't need some marketing guru in here to give you a playbook to freshen up your brand. It's about excellent execution and these elements that they've marked off in the way they talk about the tournament, the way they do the sponsors. No one does it the way they do it. It works, and it's hard sometimes to just feel like you have to do something. Got to, change something just to change something. And I feel like they need to just stop doing all of that. And I think they need to show more golf. I didn't like that they were bringing some of the commercials back in the coverage. Just keep it the tournament, show as much golf, and respect the decorum of this brand. It is a high holiday for true golf fans. Just keep the sanctity of that tournament and what it means for the true golf fans. And people be attracted to it because it's so special to the people that love golf. It's just it brings people in. They know how important it is to golf fans.
It's
totally
a unique tournament. It's a unique setting. It's a unique situation.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. What I think this is coming from, and we've had a lot of news this week about LIV, so let's pivot to that conversation. Yeah. It feels like the PGA has won the battle.
Maybe the war.
Yeah. The war overall is seemingly over. There's a lot of rumors this week that LIV Tour is going to straight up shut down. Yep. The CEO of LIV came out last night to reassure the guys going to Mexico City, which is where their tournament is this week. That is not true. The LIV Tour is fully funded through the end of this year. That was a pretty major caveat, I thought.
But no one actually. Did the players end up getting paid for Q1? I heard.
Yeah, it was a little rumors about that.
Yeah.
Payroll didn't run.
Yeah.
Hey, need some HR solutions. You know, we'll
Dude,
have an exchange situation
yeah.
going on. But I think that there's been a reaction across the PGA holistically. We've talked about this a good bunch with Rolap coming in, who I like coming from the NFL. It was Goodell's number 2 guy. If you missed that episode,
Yep.
you can go back and listen to that. It was a few weeks ago from us. And I think generally they are trying to do the right thing now with Rollup coming in. Where I see stuff like this happen, where we've got Jason Kelsey on the freaking par 3 tournament, ESPN bringing out, who's the short comedian guy, Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Too much.
Coming out there, hanging out with Bryson. It's just a lot. And to your point, the tent is already pretty big. And if you like golf even a little bit, this is the first tournament that you are going to watch. I was texting with a buddy who doesn't watch any golf, likes to play golf.
He's watching
and he was like, "Oh, I'm starting to watch it. This is great." But he's watching it for the tournament. He wasn't watching the ESPN shenanigans. Where I think we're getting caught a little bit is the tour is overreacting. I know that Augusta is not the tour. They're separate. They're their own entity. Separate. They run their own show. But even the Riddler, so the Riddler came out before the tournament started. He was asked a question about who are the stupid YouTube guys that do all the dumb videos, the we're going to make a basket from 300 yards away on a trampoline.
Dude perfect.
Because he was asked about that because they had them play frisbee golf or something a couple years ago. And he was like, "Yeah, that was probably a mistake if I was to think about it."
Yeah, you don't need to.
Well, they continued with the mistakes this year. I think that they're trying to figure out what new golf world looks like. The reality is they're hurting themselves because PGA has clearly won the war. Professional golf is going to be the PGA going forward, it seems like. And the majors are always going to be the most watched of anything. So you're trying to appease everyone. You're going to please no one. That's a bad brand. Don't do it. I think it's a dumb move by them overall. Totally agree with that take. It was covered a lot this week, and I'm kind of sick of it by now, but I agree with it.
Everyone that's sick of it's going to be sick that we talked about it, but we have to. It's not really set until we've weighed in. You know what I mean? We're kind of the
final say because we record after everybody else. We record to talk about what the media talked about that week in order to give you the full picture.
That's why it's that's why they're hot takes. It's kind of a recap. It's kind of a recap hot take. Yeah.
Plus betting preview.
It's your Reader's Digest. Betting
FTK.
Preview. Yeah,
in
it's all of it.
The football season. So
we have a clear brand. We're something for everyone. We have a clear brand. We're something for everyone.
A little this, a little that.
Dude,
other takes generally, there was a lot thrown out about Rory playing the course a billion times before him and his quote. This is what bugs me about Rory. He just needs to shut up sometimes. Just stop talking. Stop. Because you're creating drama when you don't need to create drama. This is what I love about Brooks. This is what I like about Scotty.
Dude, I thought it was the same.
They don't really say much.
That was kind of a Brooks statement by Rory. You got to be honest, right? He's like, I don't care about these three. He said, I don't care about these three tournaments. That was Brooks vintage, and he's like,
that was Brooks. Yeah, I would just vintage Brooks.
If you didn't have
Texas swing, don't care about.
I don't like.
Don't want to go.
That was something Brooks would say.
Never gonna go. Absolutely.
He's like, yeah, I just got in the jet. I just got in the jet, and then I just go and play, and then I come back, and I don't care.
Stupid little. I dropped Poppy at school, and then I'd go up to Augusta, play 18, and I'd be back home for dinner with Poppy, and then he said, and Erica, because he's trying to save his marriage right now. And so this got blown into this giant smorgasbord of people being overblown, well, how does he get to play Augusta? Nobody else gets to play Augusta. The reality is, and we know this, if you are any sort of golf nerd, this. These guys can go play these courses if they would like to. You can be HaoTungLi, and you will be able to get on. A member at Augusta wants to have you there prior to the tournament specifically, because then you're their guy. You are HaoTungLi's guy. You are Siwoo Kim's guy. You are Brooks's guy that you're giving access to. A member invites you. You can go play anytime that the course is open, especially leading up to the tournament. It is not a big deal at all. And
sure,
JT would go play he would go play Augusta a few times before the Masters. I'm sure he did that again this year. All these guys do it. Nobody talks about it.
It's the first major of the year. Like, of course, these guys are getting out there and it's Augusta. I'm sure it is not a big deal at all. And everyone was trying to make that into the way he talked about it probably made it a much bigger deal.
If I'm an Augusta member, I welcome this idea because that is why you're a member. You're there to host people. You yourself don't play more than a few times a year, if that. And when you do, if a professional golfer wants to come play, it's a great excuse to go out and get on the jet and go to Augusta and have a great day seeing somebody hit an unreal round. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn. Played yesterday with a guy who's a +4, one of the best golfers at my club. We went out to a very nice place in West Nashville, and he shot a freaking 67. And to be honest, I played terrible. It was one of the coolest rounds of golf I have ever played because he couldn't miss. It was like I was watching golf on television with the pros, but I was hanging out with him and seeing him hit those shots. Like it's the same thing. Cool. These guys at Augusta, they're going to shoot 95 and they want to see Rory shoot a 68.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's pretty cool.
It's unbelievable to play with someone that's that good and see how they work themselves around the course.
It's incredible. And you learn stuff. You get to see what their pre-shot routine is. You get to ask them questions. Hey, why'd you hit this shot? What were you thinking? Why would you not hit a flop shot here? I would have hit a flop shot. And they're like, oh, that's a high risk shot. I'm going to take my lowest risk shot. I'm just going to try to make par here.
And it's totally private. It's not like you're at a pro-am. You're basically getting a playing lesson with one of the top 50 players in the world, maybe top 10 players in the world. I mean, that's a priceless moment in their career. Everyone's going to do that. Everyone's going to do that.
Overblown take.
Dude, here's what I will say. I want to get a Liv take out there. Liv, it's probably going to implode. Everyone was getting in the culture wars on Liv. I think history is going to look at this and say the two biggest things that ever happened to the purses in golf in the last 40 years are Tiger Woods and Liv Golf. It's going to be a mess to clean up if it implodes. They're going to make up all these rules. There's 5 or 6 guys they really want to get back. They could care less and make it terrible for everybody else. And they got to DP World Tour their way back and crawl on their bellies, whatever. But I think Phil was 1,000,000% right on this fundamental assessment. The way he did it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, whatever. I think he tried to do it through the proper channels for 20 years. And he's like, sometimes the only thing that's going to make people move is the existential pressure of all of your best players getting sucked up by an endless pool of Saudi money.
If you're underpaid at your W-2 job, what's the one thing that you can do to get a raise?
Go get another job. Offer. Go get another job. Get some competition out there. Make yourself sought after. And all of a sudden, this tour that couldn't find money for players, they couldn't increase the purse, they couldn't do XYZ, overnight, all of those changes were ushered in.
Weird.
It was a market correction.
And now we're talking about 21 signature events per year, which are going to be 12 to 15 to 20 million.
20 million, probably all 20 million. Mega purses, shorter season, bigger markets, whatever tour you'll be on for the next 10 or 15 years. That was such a slingshot event of compensation and power and actually realizing that, you may have 120 members on this tour, but actually, I think something that they learned overnight is if you poach 15 of these best players, all of a sudden, the entire product of your tour is not very interesting anymore. So I think it was a textbook example of like a disruptive market force that probably accomplished 25 years worth of reforms for players in a condensed, 3 or 4 year chaotic window. There's going to be, the Brandels of the world, all these guys that were just Liv haters. And, they're going to be the Schadenfreude that these guys are going to have is going to be the most pompous. They're going to die from how good they're going to feel about themselves. It's what happened to the NFL. The PGA players had their moment and were able to get probably what they deserved because of that force making those changes happen overnight. So I think Phil and those guys, they were honestly right. And all these guys that got their money from the Saudi government, they're going to come back to the PGA Tour. Bryson may have made, I don't know what his deal is probably not going to get paid out if this goes through, but like He was rumored to be working on a $500 million contract extension. That is, no one in sports is making that kind of money. So these, like some of these guys, and Brooks probably played it better than anybody, leaving before it imploded, not having to go through all this crazy stuff and kind of being welcomed back. So when all the dust settles and the players from this era look back on it, it's going to seem like an insane fever dream, but everyone made more money, got a better schedule, had a lot more say in how things were run because Liv forced those changes to get made.
When we look back at golf history, this will be known as the Liv era for the past 5 years.
100%.
And it's wild to think that that's the era that we've been living in. It's going to finally come to a close, it looks like. Two things before we get out of here. This is going to be my weekly hate of Brandel DeChambly, since we just talked about him. So Brandel on the coverage Saturday night going into the Sunday round. I hate Brandel so much. Who's the English or Irish guy that his name's like Sean? He has sits with them and the other guys. Anyway, Sean, let's call him British, Irish. Sean, if you're listening, so sorry we don't know your name. He came up and he was talking about course setup and going back to should Augusta have dialed this in more? Should they have made it harder, etc.? And Sean is sitting there saying what we all agree with, which is
it Paul McGinley? Is it Paul McGinley? Is that who you're talking about? The guy who's on Golf Channel?
Oh, yeah. Paul McGinley. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. All right. So Paul McGinley, Saturday night coverage, Golf Channel going into Sunday. Tim and Brandel and the host sitting there talking, and they're talking about course setup. And Paul says, reasonably so, really wish that they would have made this course dialed in. They would have made the greens harder. They were very soft for the first couple of days. And this is not the tournament that Augusta could have put on this week. We'd really thought about it. Brandel cuts him off and goes, well, I don't agree with that. And Paul was like, well, I mean, you're seeing the scores. Guys are now at 11 under going into Sunday. What are you talking about? And he's like, well, I looked at the weather forecast and, have 20-mile-an-hour winds coming tomorrow. So, and Paul was like, oh, really? Wait, there's going to be 20-mile-an-hour winds? That's going to happen tomorrow? That's news to me. And Brandel goes, and I quote, well, I was looking at the forecast, earlier in the week on Monday. And it forecasted that, on Sunday, we'd have some really, really high, 5 to 10 to, up to 20-mile-an-hour winds. Fuck you, Brandel. Fuck you. You should not be on Golf Channel. You are the biggest chode in professional golf. You're a terrible golfer. You can't even talk about golf. You are everything that is wrong with the coverage in professional golf.
Yeah.
And if you were going to say something on television, not a podcast like this, at least get it right. And don't make stuff up on the fly to make a point. So you're an idiot. Before we go out, Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel, any thoughts there?
I think, dude, here's what I want to know is who hired the private investigator, right? We were just in Arizona a few weeks ago. They were out in Sedona, right? It's out of the way, man.
Have you heard the rumor of who it is?
I don't know. Who was it? What are they saying?
So the rumor is that Amy Adams, owner of the Titans, is the one who did this because she hates Vrabel so much and they have such a beef with how he left. That's the rumor.
Is that Nashville Inside Baseball, or do you think there's something
I would love for that to be true. That's not Nashville Inside Baseball. That is a take that was on Twitter, and it makes total sense to me. But
dude, I mean, it does seem like they got caught red-handed, and she stepped down, right? She's like kind of taking a leave of absence situation.
She resigned from The Athletic, which, The Athletic is kind of a joke anyway, if we're being honest, except for Ian O'Connor. So
I think unfortunately it probably happens a lot in those. I feel like that the reporter-player relationship, they're getting scoops. That's probably a fixture of those leagues, but sucks they're both married. Like, it's just tough, man. Like it seems like it's legit. Those pictures were like, kind of smoking gun situation. So Vrabel.
Here's my one thought on it. I'll give you one parting thought here. Vrabel, my guy.
Yeah.
We can do better than Diana Rossini. All right, guys, get to Yes Pod. This was fun. We will be back next week. Roos the Goose will be back with us. We're gonna do a little draft preview. We're gonna let Roos know that he's got to do a little draft prep.
Roos is gonna have big shoes to fill.
Draft is 22nd, 23rd. So we'll release
we need to dial
early.
back in.
We're gonna have to
we need to dial
record
back
on
in.
Monday.
Yeah, I need
and
to
we'll
hit
get this out
some.
to the people.
I need to live bet the RBC to kind of financially recover a little bit, but it's a minor setback for a major comeback.
Thanks for joining, guys.
See ya.
What they know about this, that? I got the bars, we can have a little chit chat. Too fake with it, nah, never been that. Float is dead, you might as well been that.